So here's why many people feel worse on a functional health protocol or they don't get better at all. Before your body is able to clear anything, mold, pathogens, bacteria, parasites, Lyme, you name it, it has to be able to handle what happens when those things die off. It's also got to be able to handle the hard work of doing that, of getting rid of things that shouldn't be there. The immune system has to have the capacity to show up and make an effort and see these things in the first place. So when these things die, they actually release toxins with them. A lot of people don't know that. If your detox pathways are already sluggish or already slow or not working optimally, if your minerals are depleted, if your nervous system is stuck in survival mode 24/7, all of those things will prevent your body from being able to move that load out of your body where you want it to go. And you feel terrible. Herxheimer reactions are very real. They feel awful. You can't always avoid them, but you can strategize how to deal with them and how to minimize them. So most people totally skip this step. They will find a problem and they'll go straight after it, and they'll come in guns blazing and cause somebody to crash and crash hard, cause somebody to possibly abandon the protocols and the appointments altogether, to just completely quit, or to push through, thinking more is better and harder is better, and that you've got to have pain, that whole no pain, no gain, does not work in this scenario. That always backfires and leaves the body with less capacity. So personally, I spent 2 years trying to outrun mold toxicity and mold exposure with protocols before my body eventually finally had the foundation to actually respond, and that was due to a whole separate set of protocols to rebuild that. I actually had a full adrenal crash after many gut protocols that were very good protocols that I needed, that were done in the wrong order and that were done completely without any attention being paid to my cortisol, to my hormones, to the rhythm of my cortisol and the overall capacity that I had. So because of that, I operate now with an abundance of caution and making sure that that does not happen to my clients. So the first thing I look at with the women that I work with is not what we need to go after, which is important. It's a piece of the puzzle. But the first thing I want to know is what the overall capacity looks like, what the cortisol pattern looks like, what the cortisol numbers look like, what the hormones are doing, and to get a picture of the nervous system in general and what the body's overall capacity is. Because there's no point in jumping into that later, deeper, harder work of eradication if we don't have the foundation in place that's going to allow that work to actually do what it's intended to do. If we skip that step, either things resolve temporarily and then they come back, or one problem will just replace itself with another, or you have a crash very similar to what I had happen to me, and then you just feel like total crap, and you're just done with everything, and you've got to start all over when you eventually do come back to trying to resolve your issues. And in many cases, you'll think that the approach didn't work or it wasn't the right approach, when in reality, there's some really fantastic protocols out there that may fail you, not because they're bad, but because they were done in the wrong order. And I can't say that enough. That's something I see over and over and over again. And I cringe every time somebody tells me they went to a practitioner and they got a GI map done, which is an amazing test, one of my favorite tests, but that's all they got. And they're going after the bad guys. If that's what your practitioner is doing and they're not testing anything else, I would run away. Personally, I would run away.